AMSCSA, so adult male survivors of childhood sexual abuse. Let's think about it for a second, right? That is not something that's talked about very much. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psychology for Every Day. I am Dr. Laird Bridgman, your friendly neighborhood psychologist, coming to you today with a conversation about one of the least discussed topics about sex and sexuality I believe that there is, at least in my opinion anyway. And that is something with a very long acronym, AMSCSA, so adult male survivors of childhood sexual abuse. And there is a statistic associated with this topic. It's called 1 in 6. And that's a ratio. And it means that 1 out of 6 adult males suffered some form of childhood sexual abuse. Let's think about it for a second, right? That is not something that's talked about very much, correct? Yeah, okay. All right, so it's not just me. However, childhood sexual abuse for males and females is a very traumatic experience. The effects and the damage can be pervasive in a person's life. Childhood sexual abuse can cause problems with self-esteem. So it can cause mood disruption. It can cause problems like depression and anxiety. It can cause disruption in relationships. They could be interpersonal relationships. They can have difficulty maintaining intimate relationships. They have difficulty with trust. They can have issues with managing their own sexuality and making good choices with sexual behaviors. They can also have trouble with relationships like at work, for example. They could have trouble with authority figures, especially if their abuser was an authority figure. I think the message that I want to bring today is just twofold. It's just to raise awareness, right? So just take a moment and think about 6 men in your life. And then think about the fact that statistically, the probability that at least one of those males was sexually abused as a child is very high. And then imagine that were true. And then how would you feel about that? How do you feel knowing that that's probably happened and you may not actually know anything about it? Not that you necessarily should, but think about who do they have to talk to about it, right? I think one of the biggest barriers to getting people that have suffered with this trauma help is shame, and there's a bias in our society, but particularly against males talking about themselves as victims. That doesn't go with the strong male stereotypical image, right? So we need to find a way to break the silence, right? We need to break that shame ceiling, right? To shatter it so that it can be something that is a conversation piece that people can talk about and that people can get the help that they need. Help is available, and there are resources that are available. 2 websites, organizations that are available that can be helpful. 1 in 6 is one website and one organization, and the other is malesurvivors.org. Malesurvivors.org, I believe is plural. There are books available as well, things that you can get at your favorite online retailer or libraries. Oftentimes will have these as well. If you still have a library in your community, that's a great thing. A book that I recommend to people I work with is Victims No Longer. The author's name is Mike Lew, L-E-W. It's a classic. It's been around for a couple decades, I think. It's a great book, a very heavy book though. Of course, there are mental health professionals like myself who work with people who are trying to recover from this kind of a childhood sexual trauma. But think about, the kind of person that you are in their lives, right? Are you a safe person in their life? Like, would you know what to say if one of your friends or somebody in your family or somebody came to you and said that they had been sexually abused when they were children? Like, would you know what to say? Okay, so let me tell you what to say. Just say, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. How can I help you? Like, how can I be here for you?" You don't need to fix anything for them, right? You can't fix anything for them, right? That's their journey. That's their healing journey. They have to walk through. Only they can heal themselves, right? But you can be there to support them, to tell them that you don't think they're weird or they're bad or that it was their fault. You can tell them that you support them, and that you're there to listen to them and to be a good friend to them and to love on them anytime they need it, right? That's what they need. They just need to know that they're loved and that people don't think that they're, weird somehow because they were victims, right? I think that's probably the most important thing that you can do, right? So that's it. I just wanted to take a minute to raise a little bit of awareness, make people stop and think for a minute. If the video has been helpful or interesting to you, please hit that like button. Even better yet, share it with friends, family, neighbors, somebody that you think maybe this information would be helpful for. And if you're not subscribed and you're new to the channel, it helps us out every time somebody subscribes. So please hit the subscription button. We have a lot of new exciting topics scheduled for the coming year. And if you have any suggestions for topics you'd like to hear us talk about, feel free to drop them in the comments. And until next time, make it a great day.